We welcome all who seek spiritual meaning in life, all who believe religion is wider than any one faith. Welcome who come in friendship, who long for genuine community.
And may you be graciously received here as your authentic self.
Welcome who come in curiosity, full of questions, or simply open.
May you embrace wonder and encounter new delights.
Welcome who come heavy with fatigue, weary from troubles of the world, or the troubles of your particular life.
May you rest and be filled in this sacred space.
Welcome who come with joy for flowing rivers and gentle breeze, for changing skies and great trees.
May the grace of the world leave a lasting imprint in you.
Welcome who come with thanks for the altruism of the earth and the gift of human care.
May your grateful heart overflow and bless those around you.
Come, let us celebrate together this wondrous church and all that have entered. Thank you, Raymond.
Thank you.
Like many churches, Unitarian churches and chapels across the land, we light our chalice. We light this chalice for all those that come before us who have struck the match, for all that they've done to bring us to this moment, for all they fostered and cultivated and nudged, for all they suggested and directed and maneuvered, out of calling, out of commitment, out of faith. We light this chalice for our community that has come out of the past and shapes the future. We light this chalice to symbolize the light and hope we find in our movement, in our connection to God and to the wider world. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to our anniversary service here this morning. It's a few days early. Our official anniversary is on the 20th of August, but it marks 206 years since the doors to this church were first opened. It was the start of something new, exciting, and radical. Here we have a rich history of dissenters. I think we still do. We know our mind. We're not frightened to express it. So whether you've been coming for a number of years, whether this is your first service this morning, whether you're joining us online, or whether you class yourself as an elder here, or you're just dipping your toe in, you're welcome. Whether it's one day or many, your attendance contributes to the glorious and rich tapestry of this church. Throughout this service, I interchange the words of God and love and divine. I invite you to choose what resonates with you. So let us come together in prayer this morning. God who transcends all time and space. We are all pilgrims on this journey. Like our ancestors before us, we seek for strength and guidance, protection and care. As we walk along this day, know that our hearts can be uplifted and our burdens eased by your presence. We are here today together in community. We bring our frail, wounded, joyful selves. We come together to love, to worship, and to heal our broken world. May it be so. We sing together our first hymn this morning. All of them are from the Green Book, and our first one is 150, the Pilgrim's Hymn. Our first reading this morning is an adapted reading from the History of Brighton Unitarian Church, written by John Rowland, which was written in 1972. And Michael's going to read a passage from it now. Thank you.
Many churches, which are now Unitarian, owe their origin to the dissatisfaction of a few people within the ranks of some more orthodox body. The Unitarian Church, New Road, Brighton, is one of these. The first influence towards Unitarianism came from among the nonconformists, came from the preaching of the Reverend E. Hannon Winchester, an American Baptist minister who had adopted Universalist views. For Brighton, his importance lies mainly in his influence on a Calvinistic Baptist congregation meeting in what was then New Street, now Bond Street. It was in 1791 that the Baptist congregation was joined by a young man called William Stevens, who was much inspired in his ideas by the Reverend E. Hannon Winchester. The main split in religious opinion eventually came on the issues of eternal punishment for evildoers. Stevens influenced other members of the New Street congregation, and on October 13, 1793, it was decided that all who could not accept the doctrine of everlasting hell should be expelled. 19 members were thus excommunicated for a time met irregularly in each other's houses for religious discussion and worship. Some, however, left Brighton. Others drifted back to the church from which they had been thrown out. But it is from this date in 1793 that the present Unitarian Church in Brighton may be held to have emerged.
Thank you, Michael, for stepping in at the last moment. Much appreciated. So as a nod to those 19 dissenters, there are 19 candles here. And I invite you during the singing of our next hymn, which is 174, A Church is a Living Fellowship, to come and light one of those. I'm hoping that by the time we finish the hymn, they'll all be lit. 174 or 135? Oh, I'm so sorry, 135. I've got 174 here. It's one, yes. I was getting this strange message from someone in the congregation. I was like, I don't know what to say. 135. So during the hymn of 135, if you feel drawn to and are willing to, please come and light one of these 19 candles, which are in memory of the 19 dissenters. Let's sing together. Thank you, Stuart. Our second reading may be familiar to some of you. It is known as the Paradoxical Commandments and was written by Dr. Kent N. Keith. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. The biggest people with the biggest ideas can be shot down by the smallest, with the smallest minds. Think big anyway. People can favour underdogs, but tend to follow top dogs. Fight for a few underdogs anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Build anyway. Some people really need help, but may attack you if you help them. Help them anyway. Give the world the best you have. You may get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you have anyway. The Paradoxical Commandments by Dr. Kent N. Keith. The two readings that we've just heard give us a very broad brushstroke of how we began. 19 dissenters who were willing to do something different. The reading by Dr. Keith also illustrates that sense of doing something if you really believe that it's the right thing to do, despite the consequences. Leading up to the formation of Unitarianism in this country and also in Europe, there were huge consequences. People putting their heads above the parapets. It wasn't an easy time. So we can sit here now in our congregation in Brighton, in an eclectic community, and sometimes forget what it took for these 19 people to make a different choice, a different decision, to start to pave the way for what we have now. So we take a little bit of time in reflection. I invite you, whether you're here for the first time or you've been here for years, and also for those of you online, to think about what this place means to you. Maybe the building itself, our faith, what that has brought you or is bringing you. It may be bringing you many questions and more confusion, or it may be bringing you some clarity. It may be bringing you friends and community. I hope it brings a place of safety. It may be bringing you questions about your own life and your own faith. But there once was a time when this church wasn't here. So let us sit together. In silence, give yourself some space to ponder what it means to be here, whether you call yourself a Unitarian or maybe you call yourself a dissenter. Maybe you call yourself, I have no idea. You may be a Catholic, a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist, an atheist, an agnostic. But something drew you to be here. So let us sit together for some space and time to have some reflection. Music will follow, and I invite you, I think most of you should have a little pencil and a little piece of paper. And this is not everyone's bag, and I totally accept that, and it's all by invitation only. You may wish to write a few words about what it means to be a Unitarian or to be here. You may want to keep those for yourself, or you may want to pop them in the bowl, and I'll read some of those out. It's an invitation, whatever sits with you. But let's have some silent reflection time together now. Mystery of mysteries, God of many names, we summon you from the far places to our awareness. We call ourselves into your presence. We give thanks in this sacred space for the good things in our lives, for our joys and achievements, great and small. We hold in our hearts those we love and care, those who are struggling with illness, pain, or grief. May we bring them into our consciousness and compassion. We bring ourselves into your presence. We who can also be broken by illness or pain or loss. We seek stillness and simplicity. We seek truth for our soul. May we be restored to wholeness. May we be healed. And may we hold a space for those who need to heal. Let us sit together for a moment. With thanks and gratitude to our spiritual ancestors, I can't imagine being a member anywhere else. To be part of an open community. Real meaningful freedom of thought and speech. May I find peace and clarity. I love being part of a loving community, all on our own spiritual journey. A community where all are accepted as they are, and a space to ask myself who I am and what I believe. Community and singing. Acceptance. I love this place, and it is the place where I feel loved. A special spiritual community. Friendship and a sense of belonging. A chance to find loving kindness. Ooh. Acceptance and stability. BUC offers a place to listen to others' views and experiences, and to express our own without judgment. A place of safety where I find spiritual and intellectual nourishment. A spiritual home. A hub of many hearts in a unity of one heart, of belonging and unknowing. Trying to find my space in the world again. Here to reconnect with the deity I knew as a child. Also here to pray for our life on this planet. Very arrogant, but it seems necessary. The candle I lit was for the planet. These are your thoughts and feelings about what it is to be here. I'd like to think that those 19 dissenters would have felt like they'd done their job pretty well. Who were these 19 people? And as our member Francis calls them, I hope you won't mind me quoting you, I didn't ask you beforehand. He calls them the dissenters from dissent. But what does that mean? Christians who would not subscribe to the rights and doctrines of the Church of England, and it refused its authority. They really were challenging a long-held belief in predestination. They really were challenging the belief that when we die, we're damned to suffer in hell forever, apart from the chosen. They were questioning the doctrine that was held that nothing a person could do to change their destiny. Good works and moral integrity, it could go so far. It's a shocking theology. But a few hundred years ago, it prevailed. Those dissenters and some like them would not accept any of this. They proclaimed instead of the doctrine of universal salvation. Simply put, they believe that God's love is for everyone. Today, we're sitting inside a church that probably we could see as a monument to that idea of religious inclusion. We've only got to take a look at the outside of the church. For many of us who didn't know it was a church, we'd come here, we'd met people, we'd come to craft fairs and gigs, and we'd often gone, oh yeah, that's that place, 4 Pillars, New Road. Let's face it, doesn't look like a normal church, does it? But there was a reason behind that. I'd like to think that the architecture was deliberate. It was based on an ancient Greek temple. And Theseus is a mythical Greek king who fought beasts and monsters with archaic religious ideas and the ancient social order. The name Theseus means to set down, to establish. So there we are, building a piece of architecture that's founded on something that was challenging the order. Our founders made a choice, a decision. They took a risk, financially and in faith. There must have been many debates. You can imagine them sitting around the table in that first reading, discussing what they believed, what they wanted, how they were going to raise the money to build a new church. I'm sure there were disagreements and squabbles. But they were working together for something new. Coming together. Making a decision to believe in something universal. They agreed on a set of principles, but allowed themselves to be changed. Their bravery and their pioneering spirit, coming together with ideas of dignity and freedom in the unity of God. That's pretty radical. It's quite radical now, let alone 200-300 years ago. So to those 19 dissenters, I'm going to offer a few reflections. I don't think I have time to offer all 19, and they've been adapted from our previous lay leader, Jeff Jones, who wrote a service, I think it was in about 2012. So I've adapted some of these, but it's just so that we can remember. They were open-minded. We are what is called a heathen temple in 1820. They revered Jesus as a human being, his example of love and forgiveness. Their anchor was serious and thoughtful. They believed Jesus as a godly man, but not uniquely divine. They were a new type of Christian. These are Jeff's words. They were open-minded, but not so open-minded that their brains fell out. They believed in thinking. They believed in thoughtful questioning, reasoning. They believed that God cannot be made out of thought alone. It was about action, questioning. They were brave, and their brave came from an internal struggle. They must have grown up with the notion that God was a severe moral judge. They grew up with that sense of a punitive God. And yet, despite everything that surrounded them, they struggled to create and liberate a God of love. They did a positive and generous thing. They weren't hostile to Christianity. They wanted to reform it. How ambitious was that? They were progressive and forward-thinking. They were the dissenters from dissent. And so they met and discussed and debated and raised money and built this church, which was opened on the 20th of August, 1820, nearly 206 years ago. And with each service that's happened over the years since then, has helped to grow a tapestry rich in free thinking, open to debate in science, philosophy, whilst holding this question of what is the divine. And here we find ourselves. I was going to say in 1926, in 2026. Some of those messages that you've sent are about that openness and inclusivity. We're not perfect. I know that for sure. There are difficulties within our congregation which we have to struggle to try to resolve. The issues of looking after and being responsible for this beautiful building and the faith that's contained within it. We might say that our faith is free and inclusive, but for this space to be sustained as a welcoming and holy place, it must be tended with practices of respect and kindness, listening, giving service, forgiving for sure, and the practice of knowing when somebody is in need of forgiveness. Just like those 19 dissenters, we are all co-creators. That is the amazing and beautiful thing about Unitarianism. There is no boss, apart from God, as you understand. And even them, they're not really a boss. We have an exciting history. But this church is something that we all do. So we come here this morning to celebrate, to give thanks, to sing ourselves happy birthday, to go on a community picnic after the church service finishes in the grounds across the way. The grounds, we bought this land from Prince Regent all those years ago, so it only seems right that we go and say thank you to. We celebrate, we give thanks, we hold in our hearts and minds some of those words that we may have written or heard, or those feelings about what we feel being in this church. But what is our object now for the next 200 years or so? I leave you with the words from the General Assembly, who are our umbrella, who help to look after us and guide us on our way. We're here to promote a free and inquiring religion through the worship of God and the celebration of life, the service of humanity and respect for all creation, and the upholding of the liberal Christian tradition. This is what we have been brought here to do, and may this space be here for many years to come. Amen and blessed be. We now come to 174. Thank you, Stuart. God, great mystery, let us come together to give thanks for our church, for the vision of our founders, for the way they came together to build something new, for their ambition and commitment, and for their sacrifice. We give thanks. For the work of the builders and the craftsmen who created this building, for their labour and skills, we give thanks. For all the people who have worked to sustain this sacred space for over 200 years, who have served it in so many different ways, we give thanks. We give thanks, Great Spirit, for the future. May the bold and determined and pioneering spirit of our founders be present among us over the coming year as we think about the future of this church. We ask for your blessings today and tomorrow. Amen. We come to our collection. It's been here for 200 years. Let's hope it's here for another 200. If you have any spare change, please put it in the bag when it gets sent round. There is a card reader after, if you want to give that way. Your donations will be greatly received. I'm also aware that many of you who come regularly give as a monthly donation, so many thanks for that too. Thank you, everybody, for your donations. When we take fire from our chalice, it does not become less, it becomes more. We take this light and warmth with us, multiplying its power by all of our lives and sharing it with the world. May the year ahead in the life of our church and congregation be a rich one, growing in diversity and questioning faith, sharing, learning, singing, praying, giving, and may this place always be an inclusive, questioning faith. Amen. Thank you, Stuart. Jen's going to do some notices. But just to let you know, we are going for a community picnic across the way. We're going to have a very short tea and coffee so that we can get out there. If you haven't brought anything to share, that's totally fine. Just come along, or you can pop into Tesco's or wherever and grab yourself a sandwich. But it's a really nice opportunity for us to just gather together. We'll find a tree and have a little chin wag. But I'll pass over to Jen first.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that inspirational service and giving us a real sense of connection to those brave people who founded the church, and giving us a sense of we are the latest in a long line of congregations that have trod the path of our Unitarian faith for 2 centuries and more. Thank you very much. Our welcomer today, for anybody who's new or anybody who wants some information, is Jo in her lovely t-shirt. Thank you, Jo. Thank you to Stuart and to Sharon, who's gone out to make our tea and coffee, and to Stuart, who's somewhere here. Yeah? He's around, okay. Thanks. So on Wednesday lunchtime, quiet reflection in the church, an opportunity to be still in the middle of the week, and the timings are on a poster on the boards there. Excuse me. Next Sunday, the service will be led by our member and interfaith minister, Susie Courtauld. Don't forget a date in your diary, the 6th of September. After the service, there'll be a congregational meeting in which we can continue the path and the work of this church. So do stay after the service. Make space in your diary for that, 6th of September. And just a reminder that Brian is leading a congregational service on the 30th of August, which is in 2 weeks' time, and as per the newsletter, has asked for any contributions from the congregation. Lastly, but not least, honey made by, I think, a cousin of Fanny's in Lincolnshire. His bees have been over busy this year, so he's got a glut of honey and he's offered it to us for sale. The price for this, which looks wonderful, is £10 with £2 going to the church. And there's a money pot, not a honey pot over there. So do have some. Thanks. Oh, Lucy has something to say.
Hello. If anybody would like to sing with us on the equinox, please come and speak to me. I can't remember the rehearsal dates right now. One of them is the 26th of August, and there are others. But yeah, we've got some people, but it's always good to have some new people. So if you're interested in singing, you don't have to think of yourself as a singer. Come and speak to me. Thank you.
Raymond has something to say.
Thank you, Jen. I'm Raymond. I am a trustee and chair of the committee here at the church. Thank you for, I'm very aware that I'm standing between you and tea. and stuff. So I'll try and keep this brief. Anniversaries like this, it's a good moment to pause and think about what keeps this space going and running. It's not necessarily the building, it's everybody here. It's the people who come on a Sunday. It's the people who come to Cloud Reflection, to the Friday concerts. It's all of you. But it's and everybody here, and members who show up and give what you can of time and are willing to take a bit of responsibility for the church. I just want to say a bit of a word about membership and about the committee, because we're very closely tied. We are a charitable organisation. We do have a constitution. There are requirements that must be met as part of that. And this is where the committee comes in. We exist to look after the practical side of church life. So that's everything, all the responsibilities, as I said, for the charity, but also keeping the building going, keeping the finances running, make sure we meet our legal obligations, and as a charity, and the other small decisions that keep this place going week to week. It's not glamorous, but it's a necessary part of keeping this church running. So we're always looking for people, not necessarily members, but anybody in the congregation, anybody who comes to this, uses this building, and participates to bring your skills and help support us. It's not necessarily, again, to be a member or to be a member of the committee, but we do need help and support, and this is where you all come in as well. Whatever your background is, whether it's organization, administration, finance, buildings, or simply common sense, there's a role that we can